tie is Ed's version of the Sheep Creek, and I'll pass this around. This is a 12 5263, a 3x long. Should have got some 10s, but I don't have it. I done 5 wraps of 15 thousandths here.
Is that lead free?
No.
Oh.
Lead.
It's lead.
Okay, we gotta put some lead. We got this.
Want,
That's what I do too.
because the thread gets in my way otherwise. And I don't want it right up to the eye, because I want to be able to have some room for the head. And if you are going to use lead, you want to put some kind of head cement on there, because it'll oxidize on you otherwise. Yeah, it oxidizes and comes through the fly. So I got the lead locked in. And I'm just going to bring my thread back to right over the barb. And you're using dry fly hackle, I guess. Huh? I'm using hen hackle. It's a little softer, but it works either way. The hen might move a little better, but it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna tie this hackle in. I'm gonna tie this hackle in, and I'm gonna tie it in with the dull side toward the hook, so that when I tie it in, the hackle kind of is gonna go backwards for me. And I'm gonna make about 6 wraps here, so and bring my thread forward a ways.
I've never seen a fly with a hackle in the back.
You have now.
I know.
There aren't too many.
Several different bodies they use.
The original is brown chenille.
Right.
Okay.
Chenille?
Yeah.
So when I do this, I kind of scissor fold this thing so that the hackles go back.
What do you do? What's it called?
Scissor fold it. See how I take the sharp edge of my scissor, close it up, and if you just take it and run it right along the stem,
Yes.
Folds it.
see how it's folded that hackle back. So it's like a wet fly technique. Gene would show Matt. So some feathers work good, some don't, but these hen hackles, it really works well. And then you fold both sides at the same time, don't you, Gene? I'll usually fold that side, and then when I get over to here, I'll do the second side. But
What's that do?
see, they want to flow backwards. And then you can wet your fingers and really fold it if you want.
You do that?
They automatically go back. I'm just going to tie it off there.
This fly is good for still water as well as moving water?
Yeah, it is a still water fly basically. Both these flies are still water flies.
What's this?
Okay, so I wound my thread up to the back of the lead, and I'm going to tie in my peacock. And I'm going to use 4 or 5 strands peacock here. I'm going to tie this stuff in. I'm going to put it along the entire shank to kind of build that up a little bit. And then when I do this, I always do my peacock in a loop.
The fly you showed us would have had no peacock on it by now if you had one.
No. And I use this old bird tool, but you can use whatever you want, but this is the best thing I've found for peacock. And you just slip it through, pull the peacock through, and then you spin it. And you want to try to keep all the hackle out of it. I'm just going to spin it. And then I grab one of these electrical test leads. And normally I'd put a big gob of glue on this thing. My lid's down there. So. And then I'm going to wind this right up to the back of the lead.
Do you twist counterclockwise?
So
So you make one twist?
you'll find out real quick because it'll either untwist or twist. Yeah, when I hit here, I twist it again.
Yeah,
You have to be careful though when you do this. If you twist it too tight, you'll snap the thread. So every time I go around,
But
I'm,
you untwist it each time, so if you're only
yeah,
twisting it one,
See?
you're okay.
yeah. See, and I just every time I go around,
Okay,
I just
gotcha.
spin it here.
Gotcha.
What thread are you using?
This is 8/0 here. I think on the leech I said to use 8/0, but actually 6/0 works better because when you put things in a dubbing loop sometimes and spin it, it'll snap the thread if you get it too tight. So 6/0 actually works a little better. But for this 8/0 is fine. So I'm up to the back of the lead. Chenille I'm using, since this is a 12, the fine chenille was too big. So what I've got here is this is a tinsel chenille. You see, it's got a silver core to it. You might see it better there, but it's a little finer than the regular stuff I had, so I used it. It seemed to work a little better. So anyway, when I put my chenille in, I usually get it down to the core. And I'm kind of big on gluing everything, so I usually put some flex cement in there. And I'm just going to basically cover up this lead.
You thin that flex cement out?
Yeah, with toluene, yeah. That's... Okay.
Sure you keep it in glass. Say it has to get evaporates right through the wall.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a carcinogen. You can hardly... Ace still has it for some reason.
Dale doesn't have it anymore?
Okay, so I've got the chenilles tied off. This is mallard flank. There's some of the feathers. There's only like 6 or 8 on a duck on each side. I don't know if you can see this.
Very cool. You good.
You can see this feather. These don't come to a real sharp, thin point. They're kind of thicker. There's a difference in these feathers. If you look at these feathers here, see how thin they are on the tips? Comes from a different part of the duck. If you look at this feather, these don't come to a real, they aren't real thin. They're pretty thick all the way through.
Pretty stubby, yeah.
Yeah, on this feather, the tips stay basically pretty much parallel all the way to the very tip, so you get a much better looking leg. So anyway, the way I'm gonna get the feather for this is I'm just gonna straighten this thing out. I'm just gonna straighten this thing out, and then I'm gonna kind of fold it and just tear it off. And then I usually cut the butts off of it so they stay. And I'm trying to get the natural curve of the feather to curve over the top of this thing like that. If I do it right, we'll see. I just put a loose wrap, a pinch wrap on there.
How many
Get
you
it
think you got there? Like 10?
Okay. So what I'm going to do here, I want to trim the butts off on an angle here. I don't want to cut them straight.
You don't want them?
No, I want kind of a taper because otherwise I'll have a real funky looking head. And looks like I'm going to have anyway.
Well, you still got to make a head. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. See, Wayne, you screwed me up, man. I'm going to have it.
no, I did not. That's looking good. What happened to the thorax? It's there?
There?
I just kind of, yeah,
Must have been.
Yeah, pay attention.
Yeah.
little head cement.
Yeah, these things catch a lot of fish. You gotta cement the heck out of them.
Yeah,
If you don't,
yeah. When I'm
change
tying
the
them,
flies a lot.
I glue everything underneath there. So that's it.